Good morning, good morning. I was attempting to post a link somewhere and it failed, but that's okay. Slowly trying to add more to my system in the morning of being able to post links and get things. And I know we had Disco here who was waiting for us to go live. He's still here, so good morning, Disco. It is so good to see you. Today is a special Thanksgiving edition, American Thanksgiving edition of the the Poetry Studio show. I hope you are doing well. I hope everything is going well with your streams. I've been so busy this week, I've not been able to check them out as much as I wanted to, but it is good to have you here, and really appreciate you stopping by and being here. I like that you were going to lurk until I was live. And indeed, I'm live now. I have pulled out today an old poem, which I'm going to do some very slight editing on, and then we're going to retype on the stream, which is going to be really nice. It is a very thankful poem. I think that's great. Having a day off Twitch apart from me and Akira so I can get some work done. That is an honor. That really means a lot. Days off. Man, I actually, so technically, I decided like starting 2 or 3 o'clock on Wednesday to 12 o'clock on Friday, I was going to take basically a break. So I have a work timer on my phone that I usually use to track my work time. I stopped it. I said no more except for the morning word show, the poetry studio. And so here I am. And so I like that. I like the consistency of doing this. Like even my wife was kind of like, hey, it's Thanksgiving, would you just take off? I was like, no, like I want to be able to, and she's not wrong in saying that you could use the break. It's more that that's exactly what I want to say to myself. But the great thing about being here and being committed through Thanksgiving is that I can bring the holiday into this, and I can really just enjoy it. I can just enjoy it, and it's great. So, we're going to be working on that poem today. We'll be working on, we'll be reading Kevin Devaney's poetry, our featured poet of the week. If you check out yesterday's episode, it was really interesting. We did some sketching and poeting around a picture. Something I'm going to be starting to do a little more often. I really enjoyed that. Like, it was a real kick. And we're not done with it yet, so it's going to reappear on the stream. But let's get to our poet of the week. Let's bring down my music. Appreciate everybody that is tuning in this morning. And tuning in on the replay. So in the spirit of being poetry being very self-reflective of itself, we have a poem here entitled Poetry. Once again, our featured poet of the week is Kevin Devaney. I'm going to drop his username in the chat later on. I'm actually writing myself a little note right now. Streambot. I need to get myself a nice little Streambot set up so that it could automatically post those links for me. But we have here a poem about poetry by Kevin Devaney at Kevin Devaney Poet. You can never say it all. Release the full mouth from the mouth. Pry the pleasant fictions from the truest story. Twilight will kiss twilight before you hope to finish. I suppose it is my job to brew a beauty of lifelong uncertainty from a cauldron of solitude and questions. Rilke won't return my phone calls, and Whitman refuses to leave Camden. What hope is there? Twilight, and its course to continue. I love that. I'm going to read it just one more time. Really dwell in the words. You can never say it all. Release the full mouth from the mouth. pry the pleasant fictions from the truest story. Twilight will kiss twilight before you could hope to finish. I suppose it is my job to brew a beauty of lifelong uncertainty from a cauldron of solitude and questions. Rilke won't return my phone calls, and Written refuses to leave Camden. What hope is there? Twilight and its course continue. So in the one of the poems earlier this week, Kevin Devaney, a little background, is a very traveling bardic poet. Really embodies the street poet spirit of quite literally traversing across the United States, a troubadour style to living. And he wrote about kind of traveling alone and being alone and an appreciation of solitude. He has this theme as he's obviously drawing across these poems, which are part of a brand new collection. I think you can order it on Etsy. They're all hand-bound by him. But the collection seems to have this possibly running theme of solitude and being able to dwell in a sort of contemplative state within that solitude. Definitely a fulfillment state. You can see here that there is a lot of frustration with the pulling of the truth, or not really, the truth is not the right word, but pulling the mouth from the mouth, as he puts it, in a poetic work. And it's definitely something, because this embodies the fact that many poems will do very good. But a poet never feels he's written a perfect poem. I'm going to state that outright. A poet never feels he's written a perfect poem. He's sometimes felt that he's written a poem that is very good, really good. Good to the point of really, knocking it out of the park. But like and this is his username. But those poems, like the Tintern Abbey styles, ones that really just resonate through the ears, you don't know it until you know it. That's one of the magical things about continuing to explore the world of poetry. Alrighty, so editing a poem today. This is a very special poem to me, the one that I'm going to be editing today. Which obviously I'm having trouble seeing because I just switched my camera. Oh, goodness me. Okay. We're back. We're back. By the way, there's a special reward on the bottom, but I'm going to just activate it anyway. We now have a doggo cam. I totally stole this idea from DJ Codis and his cat, but I absolutely love the idea of being able to, and you can see my foot there as I move it just a little bit so you can see the dog. I probably should, here, I can take the text and I can move the text. Here, there we go. And you can see my dog's face. This is the doggo cam. This is Max, my little pup. He tends to get pretty comfortable in this position. He is currently under my desk, and if people can redeem him for channel points, which I think is pretty cool. I had an editing camera which couldn't focus well on short distances, but focuses well on long distances, so it wasn't good for actually reviewing edits. So I need to get another webcam. Believe it or not, I need to get myself like a whole USB deck, so that I can plug all this crap in, my mouse, all this stuff. My poor $300 computer is just handling this all. Anyway, so this is indeed Max, and yes, you're gonna get a treat. You're gonna get a treat, Max. Hold on a second. No, you're gonna get it from this side. Oh, he disappeared. My camera has froze. Max, back to the bed. And There you go. He faces the wrong way because he knows where I'm facing. Yeah, my camera froze. I need to fix this. Alright, we're good. My camera has unfrozen. And so once again, this is the doggo cam. Yep, there we go, we're all good now. He likes facing away though. I might have to turn this around and shift it the other direction because it might be a lot easier to have the camera facing from my side as opposed to the other side of the desk. But this is him. Hello. Hello. And I can pet him with my sock. Anyway, this is Max. So, editing today, this poem. Poem entitled The Litany of Magnificence. What is this? Well, I was camping with my wife in April of 2019. Now, that might not seem like a long time ago, but in street poet years, that was right at the beginning. That was really when I was starting to do poetry all the time. And believe it or not, positive poetry was still a very new thing to me. I had written a lot of moody poetry before this. And I wrote this poem. And it really struck a nerve with me. It was about having thankfulness for every little thing. And it could go. Like, that's the thing, is I took this and I tucked it in a drawer of, a file I should say, of poems that had lots of potential that needed edits. I proceeded to forget about the file, honestly. I really like it. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to retype this poem with some of the edits I've already inscribed on it, with maybe some more edits, and then read it, and that'll be the stream today. It'll be pretty simple. And this is going to be my Thanksgiving poem. And I've started making it a tradition to do a Thanksgiving poem every year. It's a little bit of a hack because this isn't present time. Like, this was written first in April 2019, but I think it's applicable for this time. Last year's Thanksgiving poem, I can actually read last year's Thanksgiving poem. And I can actually show last year's Thanksgiving poem on the screen. Talk about technology. Last year's Thanksgiving poem, it's probably going to make me feel very bittersweet. Because it was about people gathering together to overcome their differences. But regardless, it is history, and we celebrate that history. As I am scrolling through the eternity of my Instagram, and my video is probably getting all choppy. Alright, we're starting to get close. Okay, this is Christmas. Christmas. And I even got some flack back on this one because I'm very self-depreciating in this one. Alright, 11, and then Control 4. Let's see if that works. Oh my goodness, I can't tell if it works. If you happen to be there, Steve, let me know if you can see the poem. I'm now caught in an ad on my own channel on my watch camera. Oh, we're good. We're good. We can see it. And I do believe that I actually lowered the... That's going to ruin the whole effect of it all. There we go. I didn't lower the music. That's what's important. Oh no, what have I done? All right. Does not deserve. Life. The air on the early morn. Morning things lost. Moments numerous as stars behind the bars of time. The friends like mist with them. Heartbreaking hurt reminding human in me to see, sing while I still can. We give thanks with full tables, tying our grace to bounty, as if we weren't starving pilgrims lost in a foreign land. Moments from destroying each other, struggling, surviving souls in a new world of conflict. Senseless, selfish, bold to the red and blue that binds us. Yet the sun rises in this growing winter, cold as the challenge to the traveling brethren, setting their sights on familial heaven. Rivalries like leaves tossed asunder, the darkness of our years, the sinfulness and tears, the foundations we so build, our helpless human will. It is all filled with glory, the nobleness of strife. We do not so deserve this beautiful life. I forgot how dramatic this one was. And how rather fitting it would be for this year. Except for the give thanks at full table side. I don't know where you guys are at in Britain, but here in America, it's good. It isn't lockdown, but it definitely is getting towards it. Yeah, and it's a dramatic poem. But this one, the one I'm going to be writing today, is definitely a little more. I'm not going to use the word upbeat, but it's going to definitely be a little more just simply thankful is the way I would describe it. So let's get some audio going. Let's get some music, and we will work on finishing the edits on this poem. What are you thankful for, Steve, and anybody else that might be tuning in? What are you guys thankful for today? I have decided to not do the theme or the question. Often it's just not really something that people can kind of gather together on. I could do a weekly theme, because changing the theme every day is a little tough. And what's interesting is a weekly theme could kind of bind together the week. Anyway, if you so feel, what you are thankful for. I'm especially thankful for my wife. I'm especially thankful for definitely feeling more disciplined than I was this time last year. Thankfulness from Disco. My family and my son's smile. I hope that your son is doing well and continues to have excitement and energy. I know that we were talking a little bit about the Discord on that. My health is always something that's very important. I know I certainly take that for granted, but recently I've been starting to try to cut down on some of my sugars and being good about that. And of course, the Disco Squad. The community love that I have seen in your communities and even my community, just being able to have this community online as everything is kind of going haywire outside and you can't really build your natural communities and clubs or anywhere else, but also even outside of that. Like, I think this is all going to pervade itself into 2021 and beyond. Celebrating these online communities that we've built and we've grown. If you see me counting, it's because I'm counting syllables. I don't usually do this because many times I don't really care, frankly. The rhythm kind of comes on its own, but this is a very structured poem. I need a synonym for coworker. Let's go to my rhyming dictionary, which has a thesaurus. No synonyms for coworker. Or teammate. I could do teammates teamwork. I think that the source of this poem was an inspiration, a thought that hit me, where I was thankful for every stone in the road. Like, if you look down at a road, you'll see that a road is usually made up of a bunch of little stones. You know, it's gravel, ground up. Pavement or asphalt is basically very small stones that are just stuck together. We look at it as one thing. It's actually a bunch of little things. And thinking about the line in the Gospels about how God counts every hair on your head. It's a lot of hairs, you know? And how I was in that moment thankful for every little thing that existed. It's like a transcendental moment. I wrote this poem. Disco says, "Speak for yourself. You've seen the back of my head." Indeed. Well, it's slowly starting to happen to me. My wife says every time she looks at my forehead, she says I'm balding. But I don't know. I wear a hat. I don't know. That's how I get past this. I wear the hat. There was this really dapper gentleman that came up to me last year for a poem. And he came up and like he was wearing a hat, you know, he's a reporter, was talking to me, everything like that. And then I saw him like a few weeks later and I saw that he had not hair on his head and I said, "Oh, the hat," you know? And so hats are a very good good way to handle that. So I figured that this is a long-term solution. In fact, more often than not, I see the hair getting in the way when I put in the hat. Kind of hair actually messes it up. Plus, there's something else I read about how, you know, being bald is has a power look to it. I don't know, something about how it was more women were attracted to bald men, believe it or not. There's something about it. I don't know. But I don't know if that was just a specific study or a specific thing. I'm just rambling now. I want to get to the poem. Every memory. Okay. That's good. All right, it's ready. Let's retype this thing. As I am getting ready. You know, Doggo Cam would probably be a really good transition cam. As I work on getting, like, paper out or something like that. Because everybody loves Doggo. Everybody loves the Doggo. And yes, this is a full-page paper poem. All right. The title of the poem is The Litany of Magnificence. Which I can't even spell magnificence right. Redo. It's early in the morning. I sometimes optionally get myself up an hour earlier to do edits. I've been going a little nuts on the writing. 5 a.m. sitting there staring at a computer screen and poems on my desk going, what have I done? What have I done? But then I always tend to have a good time with it. Rewind, rewind, rewind. That is indeed. I have occasionally become obsessed with the word every in other poems, not just this one. Slant rhymes are powerful in this poem. Yeah, this was back when I was writing most of my poems on full 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, even though the poems themselves were not 8.5 by 11 poems. Yeah, what an insane time I lived. I'm actually changing this word. Maybe I need to retype this again. Oh, good gracious. I realized it after. Like, you have to change it. Like, when when you see something and you're like, oh, God, I gotta do that differently. I think I can run through this real quickly. One more time. One more time. If you have to go at a certain point, Disco, let me know and I'll read the poem before you leave. But I gotta get this perfect for the social media post. You gotta do it for the gram! Gotta get it right for the gram! Got it. Rewind, rewind! Hopefully the last one. See and land. So I wrote so the line was every sweeping mount and land. So like every sweeping mountain and land. But mount is just got too much of a tinge of not right to it. Would work, could work, shouldn't work. Has a lot of meanings, so we'll just leave it at that. Giggity giggity. So I had to replace it with something. And I realized, but like I was gonna keep it and just try to keep a PG rated mind about it. And then I was like, wait, I could just put the word C there. Every sweeping sea in land. That's perfect. Perfect. Whereas Kira says, perfect. Well, thank you for staying. See, you're going to stay till I finish. Well, I will finish this. Did that before. That's the same thing I did before. Every touch of human and how bad does it look? I can't tell. I didn't want to have to do type overs. I'm going to start trying to do better on my type overs, but not today. Not today. Right. Trying to read my handwriting on one of those edits. I gotta be careful with these next ones. There's a lot of edits there. The words sticking together. Goodness, what's wrong with my fingers this morning? The Litany of Magnificence. Every dawn before the day, every breath with which I wake, every blink of eyes to light, every step, every sigh, every touch of human hands, every mother's kind command, every leave bid goodbye, every start, every drive, every teammate's teamwork, every shared loss and hurt, every hopeful word bright, every hug, every climb, every laugh to lift heart, every wisdom done in part, every ticking clock's time, every age, every life, every single grain of sand, every sweeping sea and land, every spark of candlelight, every voice, every type, every love ever felt, every prayer to which we've knelt, every sunset given to sight, every truth, every right, every blade of humble grass, every memory of my past, every joy of man's delight, every end, every night. Every moment we saw the stars, realized exactly who we are, every shore thankful in sight. To these all I devote my life. The Litany of Magnificence seems pretentious when you say the title, Magnificence. Like it's about existence being magnificence. Like it's an outward, very outward poem. I am thankful that you thought it was amazing. Really appreciate it. This is gonna be up on my Instagram later on in case you wanted to read it again. But yeah, this one is a real thankful poem. I'm thankful for it all. And in that moment, I felt that, and I was able to encapsulate it in the poem. And then I buried the poem for a year and a half. So I'm definitely going to be pulling out more of those papers. I found in those papers the first test poems that I wrote. When my wife, so by the story I tell everybody, the legendary story of how I started is, my wife suggested the idea. I said, that's great, but I'm not sure if I can do it. Can we test it out? And then there are several poems that I wrote on the spot for her. She pretended to be people, and I found them. Found those poems. I was like so excited, and they're just still sitting there in my drawer. They definitely need to be scanned in, entered in, stored. Thank you, Disco. For anybody else that's tuning in, I do this every Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. EST. I get online, I create some poetry, have a good time, have some jokes, celebrate our friend, the doggo, and we have a wonderful stream. Thank you again for tuning into the Poetry Studio, and I will definitely see you sometime over the next few weeks. Disco, obviously, sooner than that, as you continue bopping along with your disco. I'm looking forward to the next Akira raid to your stream. I think actually we did one recently, too. You guys are awesome. Anyway, thank you for being awesome with the Disco Squad. Thank you for tuning in here. Thank you for being part of this morning Poetry Studio. You have a wonderful day. That's right, it was yesterday.